I think a year or so ago, Rob and I were talking last week. I was like, what should I talk about? She's like, I think you should reboot your no complaining lesson. And if you all remember, that was a very popular blog about taking the no complaint challenge. And Tamara, you failed? Did you fail? Yeah, okay. So pretty much you're going to fail, but I'd like to hold you to it. So here's the thing. I don't know, it was like a year or so ago. I asked people to try to see how often they complain. And you're trying to make a pledge to get through an entire week without complaining, okay? But what happens is if you make it through day 1, that's great, you go on to day 2. But if you fail, you have to go back to the beginning. So you don't ever, so if you're on day 2 and you had no complaints on day 1, but you fail on day 2, you go back to day 1. It's very much like Groundhog's Day. You're never going to get out of day 1. You won't, you just won't. But it's a great reminder to assess what the heck is going on with why we are complaining. So I'm going to break it down. Listen, being an artist, living as an actor, a writer, a director, a poet, any kind of art, to create art is not easy. That's why we complain about it. But you signed up for it. Or maybe you didn't sign up for it. Maybe you got shot into this incarnation having written a contract some other place in time saying, I want to be an artist here. And so you have, and now you're like, what the heck? What have I signed up for? But it doesn't serve you to complain about it. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not easy to walk the path of integrity. Oh God, I'm already starting to feel the tears. It's not easy to walk the path of being open-hearted. It's not easy to walk the path of sharing who you are through your art, which can summarily be rejected because people don't like your skin color or your hair or being gay or straight or all kinds of reasons and variables that have nothing to do with the essence of being an artist. But it doesn't serve to complain. So I think there's also something really beautiful about the hero's journey, if you know anything about Joseph Campbell, is that you would have never left home if there wasn't a part of you that wanted to seek out into the world and start journeying to figure yourself out. That's the purpose of art, and that's why you're doing it. So let's see about this aspect of not complaining because it's not easy. I don't think it should be. Number 2, I had an epiphany last night writing this lesson. So I always think, like, especially with my best friend or something, he's in, you all know Nicola, he's in Europe right now, but I think it's really funny because when I'm talking to someone, I invariably start complaining, and then I see their eyes glaze over, because what are they doing? They're waiting for me to shut up so they can do what? Complain! Yes, we did it on the phone yesterday. I was complaining, and then he took a beat, and then off he went to the races. So here was the crazy thing that I had this epiphany about. So I was at a cafe, because I'm working on another book right now, and I was at a cafe, and I heard this actress in the corner subjecting this poor man for I swear to God, she took one breath and just went flying for 45 minutes on a complaining jaunt about everything. I can't get an agent, can't get this, I should have gotten that, but they didn't want that. And I was just like pretending to time. I was so repulsed and intrigued, and like it brought up all my own shit. And then I thought, oh my God. I came home and I had this epiphany yesterday. I have written a whole chapter in my book complaining about this woman complaining. So this is so insane how we are so pulled into the habituated way of bitching about what isn't working in our life. Which leads me to point 3. We think complaining legitimizes us in your creative life. That it gives you support or validates you. It does not. It doesn't. Number 4, this is so true. Every time I complain, the creativity, the aha, the light bulb that I have that created some sort of epiphany for me to move forward with, as soon as I start complaining about it, what happens? It goes away. Yeah, it just flew away. Sometimes never to return again. So every time you have some sort of, you're plugged into something that creates a, what? Don't do that to it. Actually, maybe you should do that, and you'll start to see like, oh my gosh, I'm complaining my inspiration away. And I'm actually doing something right now. I'm also doing a little social experiment on myself of just seeing like, what other kind of things am I engaging in that in the short term maybe feel good, but in the long term are really not allowing creativity to come and roost in my nest. That's just something I'm working on. And then the last point I want to make is that You guys, complaining ultimately keeps us stuck. It just keeps you stuck. Because you think that it's solving a problem by bitching about it, but what it really does is just embed it further in creating roots in your life. There's nothing to defend about where you are. There's nothing, it's not an indictment against you just because you haven't won an Oscar, or you haven't gotten an agent, or you're still figuring your shit out, or you had booked a TV show and now that show is over. There's nothing to excuse away. That comes back to point one. That's the artist's journey. So I think it's important to remember those points, that there's no guarantee whatsoever in this life, period. Isn't that good to know? If there's no guarantee, why are you bitching about the thing that doesn't even exist? Would you get that? I'm going to end with that. You got to get that. Why are we bitching about that which we are saying has to be, when if you think about it, we are on a chunk of Earth spinning around in outer space into oblivion. There are no guarantees. Isn't that good to know? It's so amazing to know. So then you can have at it.
Hi, I'm Shailene Woodley.
Hi, I'm Ruby Rose.
Hi, I'm Brianne Howie.
My name is Olivia Taylor-Dudley.
Hey, how's it going? Hey.
You always learn from your worst auditioning story.